What's up YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and today we will be unboxing or unpackaging my very first silver purchase on Reddit. So let's jump into it. Alright everybody, well as you can see from the opening, I have already cut open the package because I didn't want to be fumbling around with it on camera. This is all still intact from the way that it was delivered. I've yet to look at what's inside of here. Now, I know what's inside of here because I bought it, but I did want to go through it with you guys together and talk a little bit about the experience if you've never purchased on Reddit before. I know a lot of you use YouTube auctions, you're using Whatnot these days, maybe you're using eBay or a Facebook group, and I know buying on Instagram is really popular. Well, I have never actually bought on Reddit. I peruse the PMs for sale group a lot, but I've never actually made a purchase. So the other day, I went ahead and made the what do you call it? Made the plunge and did it. So let's see what we have here. Looks like I made out. I got myself a little tube out of it as well. We know that these tubes can run, you know, I don't know, $1, 50 cents, 80 cents, something like that, but really well packaged from my seller. Now, I will reveal the name of the seller by the end of this, but in chatting with him, he is someone who owns a coin shop. So he what he had listed was way more than what he had available, but since it was my first purchase on Reddit, and then the last time I did an online purchase through Facebook, I actually got scammed out of about $250. And I'm gonna show you Reddit and kind of show you some ways to know you're gonna probably not get scammed, especially on this particular group. We'll jump to that at the towards the tail end of the video. But for here, anyway, as I was saying, I was chatting with him before I made the purchase. The guy owns a coin shop, and so I feel pretty good about this purchase. What this was listed at was 10 AU peace dollars. I can go ahead and let you know up front, I did pay $27 a piece for these. They were listed as AU, and you do have to have proof of item in every listing on Reddit. Now that said, you know, when you see a bunch of peace dollars or Morgans or whatever, it's tough to grade from a picture. So at some point you do kind of have to trust the lister. I did also ask for a blend of dates, so he said he would try to accommodate that. So let's see what we have here. We're going to start off, and I'll put just sort of common values for these on the screen as we go. I'll look them up on PCGS in a, maybe I'll put like an XF price as well as an AU price, and we can argue about whether or not each of these would reach an AU state or not. But to kick us off, we've got ourselves a 1922. Looking for a mint mark. I'm not seeing it. We do have really good detail on this coin. It's a little dirty, but nice detail in the hair. And I tend to go too fast when I show this on camera, so I'm going to try to slow down for this video. And I do move it around a lot because I want you guys to see if there's any luster. And I do want you to be able to see it because I know the light reflects differently depending on how I'm holding it. So we did get a 1922. Here's another 1922. Got this one, looks pretty good too. And again, I haven't inspected these. You just watched me open them. So we've got a little bit of a like a little gash there in the feathers in the back that I just see on quick inspection. But still a really, really nice looking peace dollar. So another 1922. Now, if any of these jump out as you guys as being cleaned, let me know in the comments down below because I would love your opinion on these. And if you have an opinion on grade for any of them, you can just say coin 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And that way I'll know which one you're talking about. But we've got here a 1923. So the other thing I'm going to do with this is I do have a tube full of these that I've collected over the years. I do want to get an album and start filling these in. So decent details on this guy too. So that was the 1923, and I didn't see a mint mark on the back there. I'm pretty sure it's on the back. It's been a while since I've looked at peace dollars in detail. So let's see here. We're moving up to, we've got another 1923 here. I think this one looks a little better than the last one. Very nice. And I don't know if I held the back up. Sorry, I was inspecting them myself. So we got another 1923. Oh, we got another 1923. Now, this one's got some junk on it. I mean, from a detail perspective, I'm not quite sure we'd get to AU on this guy, because I do see some contact marks and some scuffing. And we do have a mint mark on this one. I'm just turning on my microscope there. So here's the reverse. The mint mark's going to be right over here. There's the reverse, and you've seen the 1923, the obverse already. So let me put that under the scope. The mint marks on these things are really small, but that is a San Francisco. So it looks like we've got two Phillies and one San Francisco. What's up next here? We've got a 1924. Now, Peace dollars and Morgan dollars, really for this kind of condition, especially if I'm looking at a picture, I do try to stay in that kind of $25 to $30 range. The closer to 25 I can get, the better, because each one of these coins is not an ounce of silver. So you are paying a premium for this. It is numismatic silver or junk silver, or constitutional silver, as some might say. So you're paying way more than a typical silver round bullion price. Here we go, 1924, another one. Do we have a mint mark? I don't see one, but this one looks a little bit nicer than the one that came before it. I do like this one better. And as I said, I did get each of these for $27. I'm going to actually show you guys at some point in the video the CoinApps website and what the silver melt value is of each of these, but Morgan dollars and Peace dollars very rarely, if ever, sell for melt unless you get really, really lucky somewhere, like an auction or just somebody who doesn't know what they have. We got another 1924, and this is probably the nicest one of the group. And again, it's another Philly, but really, really nice. I do like this one. We've got ourselves a 1925, and it looks like the last one will also be a 1925. So what I'm going to do after showing you guys all these is I am going to go back and look at PCGS, because there's a bunch of VAMs, so it's basically varieties of these. We'll see if we have any varieties. Since this guy owns a coin shop, I'm willing to bet he did not sell me any high dollar VAMs for $27 a piece. But we're going to check it out anyway, because sometimes that stuff does slip by. And this is also a 1925 Philly. So we did okay. We got a variety from 22 all the way up to 25 out of these 10 coins. And I would say overall I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Would you be happy with those, unhappy with those? Listed as AU. I could argue some might not get there and some would. But I'm going to go ahead, go off camera. I'm going to look these over a little bit better. And if anything like a VAM comes out, we'll talk about those. I'll give you a sort of a final price on these if they were, say, all of them were XF versus if all of them were AU, based on book pricing on PCGS or Redbook, in a graded state, which, again, costs money to get these graded. I'm trying to think what else. And we'll jump over to Reddit real quick so I can show you where you can buy precious metals online at Reddit at, and how you know you're buying from at least a reputable source or somebody who's not likely to scam you. So be back in just a second. Okay, well, I'm done looking through these. There's a ton of VAMs on each one of these things. I didn't happen to have any of them. I then went over to PCGS and looked at photo grade to see would most of these guys kind of fall out in that, call it XF45 to maybe AU50 to AU53. And the reality is, yeah, they would. A lot of the Peace dollars, you'd think AU, we would be super detailed and they would be practically flawless coins with the term of about uncirculated. But the reality is, based on the sort of, I won't say scratches, but the dents and dings these things would have gotten because of the way they were handled back then. And as old as they are, it was in line with that kind of XF45 to about AU50 to 53 range. So I can't be disappointed in the overall condition of these because I think they are more or less as advertised. And if you're curious about PCGS, like book value, if they were graded, every single one of these coins between a XF45 and an AU53 were the same price. So at an XF45 graded, these things were showing as $40 a piece. As an AU50, they were $42 a piece, and as an AU53, they were $44 a piece. Now, some of you out there may be saying, well, shoot, go get them graded because you only spent $27 a piece on them. Well, the reality is a minimum cost to get one of these coins graded is through Annex, and it would cost you right now with their special about $13 plus shipping to have these graded. And if you already know the best you're going to get back is an AU 50 to 53, it's just not worth it because all that's doing is eating into any kind of profit that you may make. As a secondary adventure, I did go on eBay to look for these. And again, they kind of landed in that, I would say, high $26 to $27 range up to $30 to $31. And of course, you could find the occasional outlier where somebody maybe got $45 or $50 or $60 for a coin that looked like this. And I can't explain that other than it got in a bidding war or somebody just desperately wanted that 1922 they've been looking for right now. Because there were so many auctions that ended kind of in that $27, $28 range with free shipping. Now that tells you the people selling those on eBay, they made far less than that because they've got to pay shipping costs, they've got to pay the 13% eBay fees and transaction fees. So those people did not make out. I did not buy these with the intention to resell them, but it's a question that I get in the comments all the time. So I wanted to make sure I covered that in this video. And I bought these simply because I am sort of in a kick for doing new albums, and I really like the Peace Dollar and Morgan Dollar, so I've been trying to buy those up when I can get a decent deal on them, kind of like I said earlier, in that $25 to $30 range. So before we close out, I do want to head over to the computer real quick and show you Reddit, show you where I bought this, reveal the buyer, or the seller, sorry, and show you where you can go and very likely have a very legitimate transaction on Reddit. And I can say they are often doing silver at spot deals, gold at spot, or gold at close to spot. So I do think it's a tremendous resource for those of you, especially if you're stacking for weight. Not necessarily numismatics. That's not to say that you can't get numismatics because there's plenty of pre-graded stuff for sale on there. So let's jump over there and have a look. Okay, well, before we get over to Reddit, I did want to take a second to show you guys the PCGS photo grade service that I mentioned earlier. And very quickly, just to show you guys what I was talking about, you can drill into the various denomination of coin that you have. You can click these little bullets to get around to various grades and drill in to get a high resolution photo of the coin in question. So if you want to rewind and take a look at the video of me putting these a little bit closer to the camera, you can see we are at least in an AU50 state for most of them. I could argue some might be a little less, and I could also argue some might be a little higher, like in this AU53 range. So like I said, just wanted to show you this in case you did want to disagree with me. I did check it against known graded coins from PCGS. The other thing I said I would bring in and show you is coin apps for the actual silver value in a Peace Dollar. Now, this is the same value as what's in a Morgan Dollar because both have 0.77345 troy ounces of silver in them. So if you're buying these as a stacking silver, which I do not recommend, you're overpaying if you're paying more than about, I would say, $18 or $19 a piece, because that would put you where most of today's junk silver premiums are. So, paying $27 a piece for these, you're paying roughly $10 over spot price for one of these Peace Dollars. But as you could, or as I, explained earlier, these easily go all day for $26, $27, $30, $32, depending on where you're trying to sell them. And when, quite frankly, because as the spot price goes up, typically people will pay more for these coins. So last but not least, I did want to show you guys Reddit. I've got a bunch of stuff kind of tagged in here that I tend to look at, so pay no attention to that. But where I spend most of my time is in here in the r/PCGS PMs for sale. So in here, it's just like any other Reddit forum. People are going to post all day long what it is they are trying to sell. And they do have really good moderators here. They even have a middleman service that you can use. So if it's your first time buying or your first time selling, there are additional fees involved, but basically the seller ships the product to the middleman, the buyer pays the middleman, and the middleman, once everything is all square and done, the middleman then sends the buyer the silver or gold and then transfers the funds to the seller. I actually had to do that on my one big sale. I sold a 1 ounce pre-33 gold on here probably 2 years ago, and I had to use a middleman, but I made the buyer pay all the extra fees, and I was able to get, I don't remember what it was, $2,021, and gold was not as high as it is today. So I didn't get the best deal in the world, but I needed the money at the time, so it all worked out. Something else on here, it does take some time to build some reputation. So if you create your account today, don't expect to be able to buy or sell immediately. There is a first-time buyers thing up here for beginners you're going to want to read. And it does take some time and some posting and things to build a little bit of a reputation. And one of the big things you'll see here, and this is how you can tell if they are a good seller or buyer, is there is a feedback system in here for number of sales and number of purchases, and you see it here. So this particular person, half deaf yeller, sold 528 items and has bought 473, sold 376 and bought 5, so on and so forth. So this is how you can tell, are you getting a good seller on here, or people can tell if you are a good buyer as well, because you'll get a buyer rating as you go. Now, my rating is very, very low. I think I've made, like I said, the 1, maybe 2 sales on here, and this is going to be my first purchase. I'm trying to think what else I can show you. So when you get in here, below spot to a lucky person, this is probably likely already sold. This person's only sold 4 items, so may run into some trouble or end up having to use a middleman. So we're going to drill in here so you can see. Every single person is required to post a proof of ownership, right? And usually some decent pictures. Imgur or IMGUR, I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce that, is the tool of choice for most people that post here. You do have to be very specific in, how you want to be contacted, how you want to be paid, what the shipping costs are, all of that good stuff. But you can see here, and actually this was a gold maple, so they want 2040 for that. Let's see if we can find a good silver, and some silver too. So here's somebody, they've got Libertads, they've got Englehards, they got Buffalo Rounds. Buffalo Rounds for $23.50 a piece. That's going to beat most of your online retailers today. Your 2023 Philharmonics for $24.25, probably going to beat every single online, dealer today. But you are buying from, an individual, and you are going to want to look at their pictures to see, am I getting a BU item? Now, there is a chat mechanism built into Reddit up here. I'm not going to drill into that to show you, but this is one of the main ways you can contact people, but there's also a feed down here. So this person has said, I want to chat with you, and they've replied, and this is how you work out deals, right? So at the end of the day, like I said, I don't have a lot of experience buying or selling on here, but I have sold on here and had a great experience. And I did use the middleman, so it all worked out. So if you're fearful for your first one and you're making a big purchase, by all means, say, I want to use a middleman. If you are trying to sell, you're going to jump through if you're trying to buy, it's much easier, obviously, because you're just on the hook for the cash. But you do want to make sure you're getting a good deal and you are working with somebody who's got some decent feedback on them before you make a really big purchase. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and dig up my seller, and I've got chats and stuff in here, so you'll see a little bit of a screen break as we pull that gentleman up. All right, well, here he is. His handle is Keep Stackin' Son, and you can see lots of sales, 708 sales, 145 purchases. Here's something he posted 7 days ago, and this is just, the top one that I just grabbed. I know he's posted more recently than that, simply because I bought from him, I think, on Saturday, or maybe it was Friday night, and it's Tuesday, and I already have my item, so shipping was extremely fast. But you can see all the same stuff, how he accepts payment. He'll even take Bitcoin. There's verification images for everything. And actually that one's missing, which is unusual, but it is 7 days ago, and it may be that this is all sold out. Yeah, it's expired, so the images are gone. But anyway, this is the person I used. As I said, from chatting with him, he does have a coin shop. So, you know, I basically said, look, if this is a good deal and there's things I'm looking for, I'm definitely going to reach out to you and see if we can work out a price. And I'm going to keep an eye out for this guy on Reddit. So just wanted to share my experience. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. It was a learning experience for me to some degree. I wanted to share my experience with you, share some newly purchased silver with you. And hopefully if you like peace dollars, you enjoyed these. Again, leave me comments or leave me questions in the comments down below. I'm happy to answer any additional questions that you might have, whether it's about this or purchasing on Facebook or particular online dealers. Happy to answer any of those questions. So if you did like the video, like I said, click that like button, leave me a comment, ask me questions. Happy to answer them. If you're new to the channel and you like silver videos, I do cover gold every now and then. It's very rare because I don't own a lot of gold, but I do lots and lots of coin roll hunts looking for numismatics and looking for silver at face value. Make sure you do click on that subscribe button and then click that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I do release a new video. And make sure you check through my catalog of old content. I've been on YouTube now for almost 4 years, maybe a little over 4 years, something like that. I've got a lot of coin roll hunts out there. And if you just want to see the really great hunts, I do have an epic silver playlist you'll see at the end of the video. I do want to take a second to give a special shout out to all my channel members. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel each and every month. It really does help me out. It helps me make more videos, make sure my equipment's up to date. And if you're interested in learning more about being a member, make sure you check the link in the description down below this video. With that, I think I'm done talking. It's probably a bit long, but I do like to talk. So you guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.